Welcome to another episode of the Irregular show. I am the host with the most, aka Sleepy Melbourne in the building, and damn, we are here to talk about Tower of God, and it is a doozy. Oh my goodness. So we start the chapter off kind of where we left off. The chess game has begun, and it is more of a conversation. We see a lot less of the chess game and more of Traumeré and Gustang having a conversation with each other. And this conversation ranges from like a lot of things, like Traumeré kind of lamenting his desire not to be lonely, but also his mistrust of things and how that manifested itself in him basically taking the actions that he took with like the Beastkin and finding someone and creating the Beastkin realistically, and then feeling like, all right, this person that's super loyal to me isn't going to be loyal to me and is eventually going to betray me, so I created the situation basically for it to happen before they could do it themselves. I also had children, and I love them, but then I also expected them to leave because that's what you have children for. And it's just like, you did all of these things, but also always looked at like the negative. Like at no point you're like, am I going to have someone? But I guess a lot of that conversation also was Traumeré, I guess, romanticizing his life in his eyes, where Gustang was kind of being a little bit bitter and harsher about it, I would say. Where he's like, no, you were just someone who was a complete fool, an idiot. And it's just like, on one hand, yeah, but in the other hand, when you're in the throes of your emotions and just inside of your own feelings, it's kind of hard and complicated to really step outside of that, see, all right, maybe I should make some changes. What can I do to like really realign myself with this situation? But that's not what Traumeré was able to do, and so he is more so just going through his history and the decisions that he made, and then he gets checkmated and the game is over, and then like he gets stripped of his powers, and that well that was his chess piece turns into the administrator, and the administrator strips him of the immortality and dominion as a family head that he had once claimed. That is basically what Gustang wanted. Gustang wanted to remove the family heads, and so that's what it seems like, is he's taking them back to their original forms. But Traumeré didn't really enjoy that. I would say he goes through more memories and speaking about amaze and feeling all the rage and pain and sadness that he could, and really just like recognizing the I guess the ill decisions that he made in getting rid of amaze and kind of choosing to move forward, even if he subconsciously controlled Enkidu. It was through his design, and obviously you can see with him pushing the kids away, the Beastkin, that he's kind of always been like, let me make the other shoe drop before it drops on me without me expecting it. And so it's partly his fault, but he experiences all of that, and then in his last moments he says, I miss her. And then he decides that he's no longer going to stay on this plane if he's now in this new form and feeling all of these things. So Traumeré is gone now. He took himself out, TKO. Gustang is the winner. Gustang is walking away, cigarette in mouth, and everybody's surprised. I have so many questions. Like, I guess this closed that chapter, but not the V questions, and just so much other stuff is on my mind about what's going on. But I guess that is a good thing, that we have a lot of questions. This wasn't a really like long chapter in terms of a whole breadth of different things happening. This was really the life and times of Traumeré as he remembers it before he exit stage left, Goose Dang was there, and he does have a friendly moment with him. He's like, you enjoyed being with me, right? Just, kind of, I'll say I relate to that because I used to ask people when I was younger, are we friends? Just out of the blue. Like, people who I consider my friends, I would just, every couple of months or maybe a year later, be like, hey, we're friends, right? Just like a check-in. And I don't know what made me do it, but I just felt like I needed to, like, be sure that, like, no, we were actually friends. But maybe that's something akin to what Trauma Ray was feeling, where he just couldn't be 100% certain, and that bothered him to a level that he was unable to, like, reconcile. But yeah, we are down to 9 great family heads, and the war is now begun for real. We do get a revelation about Zahad that Trauma Ray tells Goose Dang, but it doesn't show us what he said. I am curious what Goose Dang doesn't know about Zahad that Trauma Ray knew. But Trauma Ray was closer to Zahad because they were more on we don't necessarily have morals when it comes to doing the things and accomplishing our goals. We'll do whatever we need to do as long as it's under the guise of meeting the agenda that we have. But yeah, other than that nugget, I'm excited for V. Urek is still here. He just saw the death of one of the 10 great family heads. I think that's important. I don't know where things go from here. Hopefully we get a chapter next week that gives us some progression, maybe a little look into a couple of different sections, so we know where we're going, because I have no idea. I normally, after the last feature, I was able to give a little bit of prediction, and I think that I will give it more than 10 chapters. I was reading a comment, shout out to you. I'm gonna put you in the description, good sir or madam. Appreciate the comment saying that they're gonna probably give it a little longer than the 10 chapters, and I will as well. I think that 10 chapters was probably a little short, especially given what's all happening right now in this story. You could get through 10 chapters pretty easy without Bam coming back in control. So I will give it more time. So no worries about me dropping the story anytime soon. But again, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment below. All right, I'm out of here.